Hello there, you're watching our television. This is State of Business. I am Pramodha Katakampala. Let's have a look at the headlines. Inflation continues to drop in December. Shipping sector warns against easing ownership restrictions. Welcome back here with State of Business. Now let's have a detailed look at these stories. Now, headline inflation as measured by the year-on-year change in the National Consumer Price Index decreased further to 59.2% in December 2022. This is as reported by the Statistics Department of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka. Year-on-year in December 2022, food inflation decreased to 59.3% from 69.8% in November 2022, while non-food inflation decreased to 59% from 60.4% in November 2022. Monthly change in the National Consumer Price Index was recorded at 0.01% in December 2022. This is due to setting off the price effects of items in the food category, which decreased by 0.20%, with the price increase in the non-food category by 0.21%. Accordingly, within the food category, significant decreases were observed in prices of big onions, dry fish, sugar, vegetables and rice. However, prices of coconut, milk powder and fresh fruits increased during the month. Within the non-food category, price increases were observed in clothing and footwear and miscellaneous goods and services subcategories during December 2022. Meanwhile, annual average inflation rose to 50.4% in December 2022 from 46.7% in November 2022. The core inflation, which reflects the underlying inflation in the economy, decreased to 57.5% in December 2022 from 60.1% in November 2022. Annual average core inflation increased to 43.9% in December 2022 from 40.0% in November 2022. Meanwhile, tourist arrivals to Sri Lanka have exceeded 60,000 in the first 19 days, reinforcing industry optimism. From the 1st to the 19th of January, Sri Lanka received 62,334 tourists, a significant rebound from 2022. As per Sri Lankan Tourism Development Authority data, 20,875 travellers arrived in the first week, 23,295 in the second week and 10,445 over the other 3 days. The boost in arrivals was largely influenced by Russian tourists, maintaining the lead ahead of India. Daily arrivals have also reached 3,281, showing a significant improvement. Russia accounted for 15,572 or 25% of the total tourists, followed by India with 7,853 or 13%, 5,668 or 9%, the UK with 5,033 or 8%, and France with 2,799 or 4%. Last week, Tourism Minister Harin Fernandes said Sri Lanka will likely meet its arrivals target of 105,000 for this month, whilst expressing confidence that the set target of 1.55 million visitors by end of 2023 is possible with an income of $2.88 billion. Despite it being a crisis year, Sri Lanka ended 2022 with 719,978 tourists, up by 207% over 2021. Though missing the original target of 750,000 arrivals, the minister said that, according to provisional data, the target of $1.2 billion was achieved last year. Meanwhile, China has included Sri Lanka in a pilot program to resume its outbound tourism by groups from the 6th of February. The Chinese embassy said the move by its Ministry of Culture and Tourism was to support the tourism industry and economic recovery of Sri Lanka. It also said the inclusion of Sri Lanka is a milestone after nearly 3 years of outbound travel suspension by China as part of its zero tolerance on COVID-19 pandemic. Now, under the theme National Youth Platform, President Ranil Wickremesinghe has instructed to implement a youth-led development project covering the entire island. It is aimed at making Sri Lanka a developed country by the 100th independence celebration through youth ideas, skills and interventions. A discussion regarding this program was held recently at the Presidential Secretariat under the patronage of the President. During this discussion, plans related to the development of major cities in each district as tourist cities formulated by university lecturers and students were presented. The Jaffna and Vaunia University focusing on Jaffna district, while the Kalani and Rajarata universities presented tourism plans related to the Anuradhapura district. The Ruhuna University, Sabaragama University and Sir John Kotalawala Defence University jointly submitted plans for the Gold District. The Colombo University, Sri Jayawardenepura University, University of Fine Arts and the Morato University jointly submitted plans for the Colombo District. The Peradeniya, Vayamba and Uva Velasa universities jointly presented plans related to the Kandy district, while the Eastern and Southern Eastern universities presented plans for the Batticaloa district. Expressing his appreciation for all the plans that were submitted, the President said that private sector financial assistance could also be sought to support this program. President Wickremesinghe pointed out that it is a good trend for the academic community to contribute to the development of the country through their involvement in these projects and commended their contribution. See you soon with more stories after this short commercial break.
IWS Aviation.
Welcome back, you're watching State of Business. Yesterday, emphasis was placed on the need for all parties to come to a collective agreement for the advancement of the poultry and egg production industry. The matter was discussed at length during a discussion on the issues related to the poultry industry chaired by Senior Advisor to the President on Food Security, Dr. Suren Batagoda. The shortage of animal feed, rising prices of raw materials, fuel crisis, transport issues, foreign exchange issues and the available solutions were focused on during the discussion. Those involved with the poultry and egg production industry and officials of related line institutions participated in this meeting. Dr. Suren Batagoda pointed out that most of the issues related to the industry could be solved by way of coming to a collective agreement among all the stakeholders. This agreement will help determine the prices of egg and poultry products. He further said that the President intends to turn the poultry and egg industry into an export industry. Dr. Batagoda called on all those involved in the industry to work collectively for the advancement of the industry. The Egg Trade Association, the Restaurant Owners Association, the All Ceylon Egg Production Association and the National Farmer Association Board also presented issues affecting the industry as well as probable solutions. The willingness to reach a collective agreement for the advancement of the poultry and egg industry was a special feature of the discussion. Meanwhile, the Ceylon Association of Shipping Agents recently warned that easing of foreign ownership restrictions would lead to several issues. These include foreign exchange outflows, loss of tax revenue and local employment. According to the association, shipping industry liberalization holds no apparent benefits towards positioning the country as a maritime logistic hub. It holds that shipping agents service over 7,300 casual caller vessels per annum. The majority of this business is canvassed and promoted by the local shipping agents, who are mainly SMEs. The current regulations allow foreign ownership to handle all activities, with the only exception of shipping agency and freight forwarding, which is restricted by the law up to 40%. The association has pointed out that there is no evidence to suggest that opening up full ownership to foreigners has brought in significant FDI into a country. This is because the ship agency business is low capital intensive and service oriented with local expertise and know-how. Further, it underscored that equity holding in agency businesses is not linked to a number of services, shipping freight rates or equipment, as those factors are not determined by shipping agencies. The association also highlighted that there is no evidence to support that ownership restriction in the shipping agency business has prevented any country from becoming a maritime hub. The Ceylon Association of Shipping Agents identified the recent calls for the shipping sector to be liberalized as a misnomer. It stresses that this misnomer is one which could mislead the public and policymakers. Currently, all other segments of the maritime industry, which are components required for a maritime hub, remain fully open for 100% ownership. These segments include terminals, warehouses, depot infrastructure, and ancillary services infrastructure. Despite restrictions on ownership in the shipping agents business, it noted that there are no restrictions for shipping lines or logistics operators to set up wholly owned headquarters or regional offices. The Ceylon Association of Shipping Agents underscored several key reasons for lack of investment in facilities and maritime hub services. These include lack of consistent policy, unattractive benefits, bureaucracy, red tape, and delays in doing business. Contrary to the accusations on lack of investment by shipping agents, the association emphasized that its members have invested in infrastructure and assets. These infrastructure and assets include inland container depots, warehouses, free zones, ships, and marine crafts. Members of the Ceylon Association of Shipping Agents have also expanded regionally and globally, earning much required foreign exchange for Sri Lanka. Stay tuned for the stock update. Welcome back, you're with State of Business, and now the stock update. Trading at Colombo Stock Exchange ended on negative notes today. The OSHA price index dropped 88.55 points to close at 8,902.24, and the S&P SL 20 dropped 34.03 points to close at 2,784.92. The turnover was 1.4 billion rupees and over 70 million shares were traded. Coming up next are Forex rates. Well, that's all our news for today. For these and more, subscribe to our channel on YouTube and follow us on Facebook. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.